Okay. Hi, I'm Justin, and this is my presentation of learning. My objective of interest was the breadth portion of the. Oh. It's my friend. Of the portion of this project, which was to choose 5 books and then place 1 skill for each book. So my 5 books are Gone, Hunger, Lies, Plague, and Fear. They're like in a series. The last book is Light, but I didn't read that yet. My skills learned from the first book is leadership, and I'll be talking about Sam Temple, which is like the main protagonist person. Second book, which is Hunger, was teamwork, and that's Adelio, also main character. Third book, which is Lies, is Patience from Drake, but like Drake isn't really a protagonist; he's more of the antagonist. But I feel like he mastered that skill like exceptionally. Fourth book, which is Plague, was Endurance by Lana, and Intelligence was the 5th book for Fear by Ashley. Has anybody read these books at all? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So just a recap on the hero's journey. So y'all watched the video on TED Talks, right? No. How many of you, after you watched the video, like started to think of like different movies or different books that applied to? Did anybody think of that? Okay. Because I went through like 100 books in my head, like that related to this. So this is a quote from the first book, which is Gone, which says, "Sam, you're still the leader. You're always going to be the leader. It's not something you choose, it's something you are." It's from Decca, this black girl who has like the power to cancel gravity under a certain spot, and she was talking to Sam Temple. So the first book is about leadership, and Sam Temple is the main protagonist. He is a leader at heart. He is a mutant, or freak, what they call him, and he has the power to like shoot like fire out of his hand or something. It's like a green light, and he can create like little balls of light. I guess the kids call it Sammy Suns. Yeah. So I was thinking, what does it take to become a leader? So I compared Sam and I, and what we have in common is we're both male, both 15, average IQ, surrounded by great friends, do what they believe is right, and effort in their work is 100%. So I came to the conclusion that to be a leader, you need to do what you believe is right. And of course the effort part needs to like always show through the product of what you learned or like what you're doing. Does that make sense? Okay. Leadership. So a little synopsis of Gone is that all of a sudden everybody 15 and over just disappears, and all the kids are like trapped underneath this dome. And some kids are mutating and getting powers. Some of the animals are mutating. There's no internet, no cell phones. Like, yeah. So, like, they're kind of like in the Stone Age, like no electricity and all that stuff. It's kind of interesting. So I would say Sam's shining moment would be at the end of the book when his twin brother, Cain, he has the power to, like, move things with his mind. He comes over and attacks, like, this group of people down at Sam's area. And he destroys the church while at it. The Perdido Beach kids, which is like the area that they're in, is like Sam's side, and then Coates Academy, where Cain went, is like his side, I guess, and they like fight it out. Sam and Cain fight each other. Cain got some help from the coyotes that live in the area. Like the coyotes like learned to speak. It was like it's really weird, but like they learned how to speak. They helped like attack and raid the town. Sam burns the side of Cain, like this entire side, like over here. Sounds very painful. And Sam disappears because it's his 15th birthday, and when you're 15, you like just disappear. So him and Cain disappear, and they see their mom, which is really weird because the parents are not in there anymore. And when they reject their mom, because she's like holding out their hand, she's like wanting them to come with her. When they reject her, she turns like into this big scary green monster type of thing. It's very disturbing. And then they return back to fight, and like it kind of dissipates, and then I guess there's like a little peace for like a while. How that relates to me. K-Vibe, the Kaliki Valley Instructional Bicycle Exchange, is a nonprofit bicycle education program that promotes bicycle-related activities in Kaliki Valley. I felt like I was showing my leadership side when like my team and I sometimes pointed and said, oh, we need to do this, or like let's do that, or like what we should each do. Like Mahina was filming us sometimes, and then Cammie and Brianne would be cleaning like the ball bearings, which was like really gross. And I, along with the help of my team, led us to victory, which was building our bikes. Next skill. You are the leader, the one everyone turns to. I'm the one doing the day in and day out work of running things. That was Adelio talking to Sam. My skill is teamwork. This is from the second book. And I'm going to be comparing myself to Adelio, which is Sam's right-hand man. He has no powers. He is in charge of training the normals. Like he has like his own like personal army, I guess, of like normals. So he like trains them how to like shoot guns and stuff. He's short, Honduran, male, and despises Sam's brother with a burning passion. Our comparison is that, okay, we later find out that Adelio is in fact gay, so like our comparison is that we both like males, we're both normals, we help as much as we can, and we tell it as it is. So, what makes our teamwork side show? It's mainly we help as much as we can, and I guess we tell it as it is, like, don't do that, or like, you should be doing this, not watching Netflix or whatever. Teamwork. He's not a vengeful person, even though this one person shot him in the arm. He tries to keep the peace with people. He's a part of the little council that they have, which is made up of 6 members, 3 normals and 3 freaks, if I'm not mistaken. This human crew, which are like a bunch of thugs, like cause havoc on the city, and Adelio is appointed the sheriff, who kind of like cleans up after them. I guess like he's scrubbing off all their tag markings. And on the bottom it says phase, which is like the name of the dome that they're under. It's called Fallout Alley. So, MBX, teamwork. For transportation infographic, Cammie came up with the idea of all the arrows pointing to the middle, which would point to the most sustainable mode of transportation. So, that is mine, Brianne's, Cammie's, and Monique's. We split the 4 subcategories into 4 different parts, and each of us had to do our own part to successfully come up with the product. It's not about who's got powers, morons. It's about who's not afraid and who's going to do what has to be done. Quote from Drake. Drake Murren is the antagonist. He's half normal and half freak. He's pure evil. Has a snake-like whip kind of arm, and he died. We are, I don't have bullet points later. We're both male, we're both loyal to an extent. We We both do things that benefit ourselves, finish what we have already started, and deals with annoying people. I think the patience part comes in with the dealing with annoying people because, like, you know, you have to like be patient, not to like rip their head off every second. And to finish what you have already started. Sometimes when you start something and you don't finish it, you have to find like your happy medium and go back and actually complete it. Patience. He was killed by Sam's brother. He was buried 10 feet underground, and he shares a body with this like chubby girl with braces, and they like shapeshift into each other like every 2 hours.
What if you're like fighting? What if you're like fighting and then all of a sudden it turns out a girl?
So like,
It's like, oh my God.
he'll be like in his middle of his evil plan, like trying to go get somebody, and then he shapeshifts into Brittany, which is like super innocent, and she thinks like nothing's happening, and yeah. He was cut in half, and that's when he finds out that he's indestructible, and that he like can't be killed. But then he found out that Sam can actually burn him, like burn him to ashes and stuff. Then at the end of the book, he was held prisoner. So. Oh, and the Gaia-phage, that's a little dark entity that lives underground that like controls some people's minds, I guess. MBX. I was paired with Cameron, Peyton, and Brianne for the Catapult project. My patience factor kind of like was drawn out like a lot in that project. I don't know, because I guess I am not really comfortable with working with Cameron and Peyton. But like we had to test the catapult. We had to test the catapult for calculations, and our catapult actually ended up breaking in half. So we had to like replace one part. That I don't know, I was kind of irritated, but then I got over it. I'm actually glad that I was paired with them because like it was like a valuable experience. Yeah. Lesson number 1: you filthy, ugly, nasty, mangy animal. Never trust a human. That was a quote by Lana. Lana is the most important person in the faith. She has a dog named Patrick. She's a mutant freak, and she heals most physical wounds, but she cannot regain limbs. Like if you get your leg cut off, she can like grow it back. Oh, and this skill is endurance. Our skill that we both have is that we both have a pet. We're both persistent. We both protect things that are of importance. We're both straightforward, and we both try as hard as we can. I think to have endurance, you need to be persistent, and you need to try hard. Like, you just need to try hard and be persistent.
He flipped us off.
So in this book,
did you see that? He was like,
in this book, plague goes around, and Lana finds out that she can't cure it, and it's very frustrating for her. But she keeps trying, and when Drake attacks the town with like these big, huge mutant bugs, like a ton of kids get hurt. Yet she's there to clean up the aftermath, from the little scrapes that the kids got when they fell down to like huge, like nasty holes in the side of them. And she heals them for the most part. But can you imagine how long that took, like healing like an entire population? Oh, and then Kane Soren is Sam's brother. MPX, we did Desmos activities, and some of the equations that I put, like, did not happen the way I wanted them to. Like, it was very frustrating, but then I keep trying and trying, like, different equations, and then I actually ended up, like, it ended up how I wanted it, which I was actually very happy about. Finished painting Desmos. Pisces, inedibilis. Inedible, joke, duh. Try to keep up, Sam. I made that really easy for you. That was from Astrid. Okay, so the last trait is intelligence. Astrid Ellison is a human, or normal, with an extremely high IQ. She has a younger brother who is autistic and is also Sam's girlfriend. Astrid and I are both 15 years old. We both have one sibling. We are always looking for more ways to obtain knowledge and always speak up. So I think to have intelligence, you need to have that yearning for knowledge. Yearning, that's a funny word. You need to have like that want, just like to be reading another book or like to like ask questions like all the time. Drake tries to comfort Pete because that's like his main objective, and then Astrid ends up killing him, her own little brother. And she's like, by killing him, she thinks that the barrier will come down, and she's like really distraught because it didn't. But one part that I thought was like really awesome of her was that because there's this little stain, there's like a stain coming up on the dome, which will like completely cover it, and like no light will come through, so like they won't even see the fake sun that they see. And she's like, oh, so if the dome is like 20 miles across and 10 miles high, like, and the stain's like this high and it grows at like this rate, like, that's amazing. Like, who can figure that out? Like, just like that, you know? Like, that's like really awesome. Pete is her brother, her autistic brother. He's the most powerful person, like, because of his power. He actually created the fate. MPX, intelligence, we have done various math problems over the semester. And since I've already taken Algebra 2 already, like, I already know what's going on, and I get kind of frustrated when I forget some things, but then, like, when my teammates need help, I help them out with the problems, and I don't know, like, it makes me feel kind of good, I guess, that I'm helping them, and, like, it makes me feel smart. Okay. So, yes, practice makes perfect. My skills learned were leadership, teamwork, patience, endurance, and intelligence through the MPX program, and thank you.